Praise God, everybody. This completely sucks. Maybe we go today. Today is the 22nd day. Whatever time it is, there's still time in Israel. The day is from sunrise to sunset. Or actually sunrise to sunrise. So when the sun comes up, it starts the day. Then it's 24 hours until the sun comes up again. So a full day is from sunrise, 24 hours to sunrise. Okay, I have not started studying yet. I was forced to take another shower. I'm not happy about this. So instead of preparing it and then doing a video, you're gonna watch how the sausage is made. This is what I say even when I'm by myself. Ready? Ooh, that's good coffee. That's good coffee right there. Haggai chapter 1. There. Now I look like Superman. The Lord's house is neglected in the 2nd year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the 1st day of the month, the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet unto Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua the high priest, saying, in the 1st day of the 6th month came the word of the Lord by Haggai. So God marked out new moon day, full moon day, 6th month, 1st day. So Haggai 2, in the 7th month, in the 120th day of the month, which was yesterday, the word of the Lord came to Zerubbabel, right? So we are on this. I mean, the Lord is messing with us. All the stuff I've already taught. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land. This is where wheels turn. And listen, I just want to say this. I know you guys can't help yourselves. I know you can't. It's so much easier just to sit in your home, click on your YouTube. Repo Man's got a new video. Steve Fletcher's got a new video. Dr. Barry's got a new video. All got a minute. I don't even know where he's at. He's trying to stay semi-relevant. It's not working. Everybody's lost. We can all agree on that. Even us right now at the moment, lost. But I'm telling you this because it'll benefit you. If you just sit there and watch this mindless gibberish, people who don't even open the Bible, they may cherry pick a verse, a half a verse, well, we'll match this up. What, why was Noah in the ark an extra 10 days? I mean, do you think God's going to hide the rapture and Noah being in the ark an extra 10 days? And first of all, that doesn't even make sense. That's good coffee. Listen, we know how to study now. God has taught us. We have plenty of stomping grounds. So instead of clicking on some mindless gibberish YouTube, why don't you pray to the Lord and say, Lord, what are we missing? What's going on? This seems perfect, perfect, perfect. Tell me, Lord. And then open up the book and start reading. If something triggers your brain, you look it up in the Blue Letter Bible, you check out the word. Why wouldn't you do that? You're going to stand before the Lord with more honor doing that than mindlessly watching YouTube. Man, Brother Dana, brother this, brother that, blah, 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 blah. It's all formulas, it's all stellarium, it's all nonsense. And I'm telling you, probably most of these guys aren't even saved. It's all I can tell you. I'm trying to tell you, what am I saying? Study the Bible for yourself. We've got plenty of story. Pick up where you think it's messed up, and then go back in there and see if it's messed up, see if we got it wrong, whatever. So I'm back on these dates. In that day, saith the Lord of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel. That is specific. So again, I bring it back to 721 because that's when God spoke to Zerubbabel the second time. The other one was New Moon Day, 6th month, first day. But look, so now I'm just catching this. Yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth. So is that a little while added to the 721? That's Haggai 2:6. So in that day I will take thee. Well, yeah, I would say it's 721, but now God added the little while in there. So again, verse 10, the 924, I think we're ruled out of it. Even though we camped out in it last year, it's clear. Ask, thus saith the Lord of hosts, ask now the priest concerning the law. That's when 924 is first mentioned. That's not by mistake. God's talking to the priest concerning the law. So then in verse 15, now I pray thee, consider from this day and upward, from before a stone was laid upon a stone in the temple of the Lord. Listen, I might have just thought of something there. This is how it works, people. Consider from this day upward. Why does God say that? Consider from this day and upward. That is specific. We can hold God to his word and say, Lord, you're the one carving out these days. The Jews, the priests concerning the law have to consider from this day upward. What day? 924 in the prophetic. My thought is, what if it's Moses and Elijah that come down on 924? And now that's the day they have to consider. Consider what? The message that Moses and Elijah will be preaching out of the scriptures. You know, talking to them. God asked them 2 questions. If one bear holy flesh in the skirt of his garment, and with his skirt do touch bread or pottage or wine or oil or any meat, shall it be holy? And the priest answered, said, no. Then said Haggai, if one that is unclean by a dead body touch any of these, shall it be unclean? And the priest answered and said, it shall be unclean. Then answered Haggai and said, so is this people, and so is this nation before me, saith the Lord. And so is every work of their hands, and that which they offer there is unclean. Do you get that message? God is telling them, here they are, starting to build the tribulation temple. And God's saying, even though you answered correctly these 2 questions out of the law, no, this is clean. No, this is unclean. God is saying, forget all that. You're unclean. It's all unclean before me. Why? Because they rejected and killed their Messiah. This is the start of Daniel 9:24, when God said, I'm going to put an end to all sins. I'm going to seal up all visions. I'm going to seal up all prophecies. I'm going to forgive their iniquity. The end of my people has come upon them. They're going to worship me or worship the Antichrist. Do you see it? So this 924 is connected to that. Not what I thought it was last year. Praise God. So anyway, God in verse 18, consider now from this day upward, from the 24th day of the 9th month, even from the day that the foundation of the Lord's temple was laid, consider it Man, that is so amazing. So they are getting the temple going right away, and this is why the world hates them. There's going to be cameras and satellites on them. Here's the Jews building their temple. They haven't had a temple since AD 70. So in the tribulation, Antichrist is saying, I made a deal with Israel. Leave them alone. And I got a bunch of other countries around me. John Trump, leave them alone. And there the whole world is watching them build their temple. And the glory cloud, the alien mothership, was over the Temple Mount, Jerusalem. So really, they could be, man, just think of this. They could twist that story up to say this alien mothership wants the Jews to build the temple. That's why it hovered over the temple. That's why it blew the mosque right off the map, right off the Temple Mount. And now they have it. So the world's got to consider, man, what's going on? You know, they could call it God, not the real God, but they could call it a false God. So then when Antichrist shows up, he could say, hey, that was me in that cloud. I'm God, because he knows riddles and mysteries. He's going to trick the people with his deep knowledge of God and twist it up to make it sound good. Do you see that? This is real-time thoughts with Brother KoolCat. Yeah, that's good coffee. All right, let's stay on point. This is what happens to me when I'm by myself, too. So, man, that makes sense. So they got the temple going. Everybody's starting to hate them. Like, look at these guys. How are they coming out smelling like a rose out of all this? And then, of course, the Psalm 83 war. So the surrounding countries, all the Muslim countries, they hate them even worse than anybody. And they attack the Psalm 83 war. God delivers them. Their borders are increased. It's Zechariah 1 and 2. He said, put a measuring line on Jerusalem. I'm going to stretch it out. So it's all in perfect motion. This is the year it has to happen. So God said, it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth. So now I feel like I got to look that up. And, you know, we kind of know what it means, but I got to redo it. And I know we've already done this last year, but that's okay because we're going to and fro. It is a little while. And that word it is 1931. I just recognize it by the number. So it's the third person singular pronoun. So I didn't remember what it meant, but I recognize the number. So listen, it means he or she or it. So again, look what it says. For it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth. So Hebrews 10:37, what's that say? So this is the Habakkuk. It will speak to the end. It. That's where I get it from, Habakkuk. And I'm going to go back there too, but hold on. So Hebrews 10, look what it says. For yet a little while. It's the exact same phrasing. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. So listen, this Hebrews 10:37 ties in Habakkuk 2:3 and Haggai 2:6. Do you see that? It's gold. And Hebrews 12:26, 25 and 26. So it makes perfect sense. And look, I do have a point, so stay with me. All right, I'm looking up Habakkuk 2:3. I know that it is 1931. Actually, it isn't. Let me see. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. Okay, that it is tied to shall speak. So watch this. I'll bet you the root word. No, it's not even there in the root word. And not lie, though it tarry. See, the it is connected to tarry, so now the word is tarry. So that's weird. I want to see if they got the root word. No, they don't even have the root word in there. This is craziness. All right, so maybe it isn't the it that I thought. Wait for it. That's not even, has a word. It will, I guess it's, no, that it will surely come. That's the 935. It will not tarry. So it gets lumped in with the other words. So I don't know. No, not there either. All right, so anyway, it's a different it there. No big deal. Doesn't monkey wrench anything. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it'll speak. Though it'll lie, though it'll tarry, wait for it, because it'll surely come. So listen, we're by default back to this. So let me go back to Haggai 2. So God said, it is a little while. So is it a little while from 7:21? So we thought it's a dead ringer for yesterday. Today is 7:22. Today's the great 8th day of Tabernacles that nobody knows about but us, because we got a full moon calendar. Okay, so watch this. This is the key. So Habakkuk 2:3, and you got to hear me on this. I think most of you understand me on this. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. It's done that in the Hebrew. It means to the end it shall speak and not lie. God is not lying to us. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Man, that is so specific. God can't throw that in there and say, well, it's a 2,000-year tarry. Why? That wouldn't make any sense. Like, though it tarry, okay, we get it, Lord, 2,000 years. Do you see what I'm saying? Can't even be 10 years. Can't even be 20 years. Can't be 5 years. Can't be a year. It's got to be more specific. Why? Because God put it in there. That's the proof. Why would he tell us it's going to tarry? So if we figured out the day, 7:21, yesterday, today's the great 8th day, that the day of the Lord should have started, the last day of the last feast, and yet God said, a little while I'll shake the heavens and the earth. So that little while is added to 7:21. So after a little while, in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel. Now watch this. So the very next verse is Zechariah 1:1. So that's 2:23 Haggai. Zechariah 1:1. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of the Lord unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo the prophet, saying, the Lord hath been sore displeased with your fathers. Talking to Israel. Therefore say thou unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, turn ye unto me, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will turn unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. Look at all this Lord of hosts. God could have used any one of his names. Elohim, the singular, the plural, whatever. Look at the term he's using. Lord of heaven's armies. Why? Because we're already gathered unto him at this point. I mean, it's so, we got that on our mind, right? Lord of hosts, Lord of hosts, Lord of hosts. I mean, look what it says. Verse 3, Zechariah 1:3. I mean, it's, therefore say thou unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, 1. Turn ye unto me, saith the Lord of hosts, 2. And I will turn unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. That's not an accident. Look, I don't even fully know what that means besides we're heaven's armies. That's 3 times in verse 3. Man. Zechariah 1:3, 3 times he puts Lord of hosts, Lord of hosts, Lord of hosts. I don't know. Be ye not as your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Turn ye now from your evil ways and from your evil doings. But they did not hear, nor hearken unto me, saith the Lord. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my words and my statutes, which I commanded my servants the prophets, did they not take hold of your fathers? And they returned and said, Like as the Lord of hosts thought to do unto us, according to our ways and according to our doings, so hath he dealt with us. Now listen, I'm just going to get to the point here. This says, in the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius. Haggai 1:1 says the first day of the 6th month. So that's new moon day, that's full moon, that started the month. Now, the scholars will tell you when God says in the 8th month, but doesn't tell you a day, like this one is the 7th month and the 1st and 20th day, so 7/21, God is very specific. So when he leaves out the day, they usually assume it's the first day of the month. And there's a couple spots in the Bible that do that. So, yeah, that makes sense, but maybe it isn't. So here's what I'm saying. He is specifically talking to the Jews in the 8th month. This is a message that will preach. Moses and Elijah will preach this, reminding them that your fathers, turn ye now from your evil ways and from your evil doings, but they did not hear nor hearken unto me, saith the Lord. Do you get that? So here the Jews just made a peace covenant with the Antichrist. They're starting to build their temple. Everything I said about that, the whole world's going to say, wow, why was that cloud over Israel? Now look at them. They come out smelling like roses. They're building a temple. They haven't built a temple since AD 70. This will be monumental. People will know that the world is changing, right? They're not even allowed to take a walk on their Temple Mount right now. They'll be building this temple. Moses and Elijah come down and preach this message. They'll be preaching Habakkuk, Haggai, Zechariah. I mean, that's crystal clear. You can see that. So God's given them a warning saying, don't be like your fathers who rejected the prophets of old, and therefore I had to judge them. Remember, these guys just came out of captivity. He sent them into Babylon when Solomon's temple was burnt to the ground. So God has real weight in what he's saying. I already did it to your fathers. I'll do it to you. And of course, he does do it to them. He sends in Satan and the fallen angels to burn the place to the ground and eat their flesh. Do you see it? My point is, it says in the 8th month with no day attached to it. So is this the tarry from 7:21 that God carved out? In that day I will take thee yet a little while. And then God says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. God built that tarry in, and I've always said it has to be specific. It has to have a starting point. Tarry from what? The resurrection of Jesus? That's the tarry? That's not specific. That helps nobody because it's a 2,000-year tarry. 500-year tarry, 100-year tarry, 10-year tarry. None of that makes sense. God is saying, when you figured it out, in that day I will take thee Zerubbabel, and now I already said in my other videos, we attach it back to 7:21 because that's when he spoke to Zerubbabel. Verse 10, he's speaking to the priests about the law. So talking to Zerubbabel, Zechariah 4, the angel said, you don't know what this is? I answered and spake unto the angel who talked to me. What are these? The angel talked with me and said, knowest thou not what these be? I said, no, my Lord. He answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. It's the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel. This is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel. In that day I will take thee, O Zerubbabel. Perfect matchup for yesterday. We didn't go. There has to be an answer. Yeah, it sucks. It's driving me nuts. But you got to go right back in and look. This is what we're doing. This is how you figure it out. So now we got this little built-in Terry. And again, the whole Terry, the first word Terry, two different words Terry in Habakkuk 2:3. You think that's by accident? It is not. The first word means Terry, a delay, a lingering. And the root word of the first word Terry literally means how long are you tarrying and why? How long and why? The second word tarry in that verse is a little while, a short time. It means any moment. So remember the story in Judges 5. They're singing the song of victory. This is Deborah's song of victory in Judges 5. Sisera, the commander of the bad guys, was on the run for his life, stumbled into a maiden's tent. She said, come in here, lay down, I'll give you warm milk. He fell asleep, and she put a tent peg spike through his temple. His mother was looking out the window through the lattice, waiting for Sisera. His chariot wheels should be here any moment. Matter of fact, she said, he should have been here by now. And then talking to the two maidens, because they were the bad guys, they said, oh, he's probably chopping up the spoil. Remember, he went out conquering, spoil, stealing, rob, pillage, raping. It's all in there. So the mother of Sisera was looking out the window through the lattice, waiting for her son's chariot wheels to roll up. So that's the type of we're waiting any moment. Now again, the 8th month, could it be the first day? So we still have to go within this week, be out of here before the first day of the 8th month, which is basically November 16 or 17. If that's the first day. So now we're back to a little while. Though it tarry, wait for it, it will surely come. And maybe right back to it fell on a day. It fell on a day. So praise God, this still makes sense. But listen to this. So how do we answer the question, why are you tarrying, Lord? Well, Sisera got a spike through the head. So just think about this. Like hourly watch Patrick when he railed against once saved, always saved, and he made like 3 videos in a row. And I said, whoa, this is bad. He's not saved. And yet people, they just whine and complain against me or whatever, or the good people see it. But people went back to watching him. Oh, I'm going to watch, see what he's got on Stellarium. So I expose all these people, and it's up to you guys. I know. It's up to you guys whether you're still going to watch false gibberish or not. So Georgie, Return of the King. I mean, Georgie was beloved on YouTube. And listen, I don't know if he's saved or not. Oh, dear Lord, it didn't look good. His silly nonsense with his computer, his dreams, and then the final spike through the head. So I think in this last moments of Terry, God is exposing fake Christians, like bringing them to the light, and, you know, bringing in the last of the real Christians. So she's waiting for her son Sisera, the bad guy, and all the while he's got a spike through his head. He's not coming. So, I don't know. That's the best I got. But you do have the 8th month singled out by God in Zechariah 1:1. And then, of course, Zechariah 1:7. And the 4 and 20th day of the 11th month, you got visions and riders on horses. That has to be, the tribulation has started. So, I just had a thought. I don't want to lose it. It was good. Oh, Chuck Missler. So I learned this from Missler last year. He said it was very, very rare for God to timestamp Israel's doings, Israel's activities through the prophets when they weren't in power. He timestamped when Saul was king, when David was king, when Solomon was king, and all the other kings. Good guys or bad guys, most of them were bad. God would timestamp. It was the 7th month, 20th day, whatever. But Missler said he never usually does that when somebody else is in power, right? So Cyrus, Darius, the king, that's like a title. They were under that rule. So they came out of Babylon. Cyrus let them go, the Persian king. So they didn't have their own kingdom, right? They had nothing. They weren't their own ruler, so to speak. They were under Persian rule. Yet God timestamped these days in Haggai and Zechariah, which Missler said it's rare. So praise God, this is where it's all hidden. The rapture's in here. Habakkuk 2:3 is the vision for sure. That's Hebrews 10:37. So here we are. Is it this week? So now this is our little Terry before 8:1, but this just says in the 8th month. So somewhere in the 8th month, we're in this little Terry, which is more specific. Again, in that day, I will take thee, Zerubbabel. That's specific. So if we figured that out to be yesterday, 7/21, that could be the official start of a Terry. So is that coordinated? A 7-day Terry, a 14-day Terry, 21-day Terry, something to that effect? I don't know. So then we'd have to go down that road again. But listen, this has to make sense. This all can't come and go to next year. So praise God. Hang on. That's where we're at. And look, I left a lot on the table. So dig into this and study. God will bless you. Pray to God. I'm shutting off gibberish on YouTube. Lord, open up the scriptures to me. Help me find something that was wrong, something that we missed, something that you can add to this. Open up the word. You get triggered, you get sparked. Look up the blue letter words. Look it up. God could lead you somewhere. So praise God. Maybe this is finally the true Terry of Habakkuk 2:3. Let's go.